Hi and welcome along everybody. Today I'm going to show you a really cost-effective, money-saving thing to do that is cheap and is not a big job to do. If you want to save some money on your heating bills, one thing I do suggest you change, which I'm going to show you how to do here today, is the humble room stat. So this is what I intend to change it with. This is the same make as the one that's on the wall. It's a Honeywell digital room thermostat, and the good thing about it really is that not only is it more accurate, it will sense the temperature changes very quickly, rather than the bimetallic strip that's in that manual stat. And although they will work on and on and on because they just use a little strip, they're very inaccurate. And it's about time that we try to save some more money by getting a more accurate temperature range, and we can do that with one of these. Fortunately, they're very easy to wire up as well. Okay, I know a lot of you are probably thinking, well, you know, we've got thermostatic radiator valves, what do we need one of these for? We could just set it up nice and high and just leave it running and let the thermostatic rad valves take control. But at the end of the day, you really do need to set a top limit with the heat that you want, even going to those. I know a lot of you are going for the wireless ones these days, which are very good, but they are a lot more hassle to wire in, and probably you would need an electrician to actually wire one of those in, because they have a sender and a receiver unit that has to be wired into your central heating system. Whereas this is quite simple, a straight swap between your room stat you've got and this, and it's a quick, easy, simple way, and it's very cheap in comparison to the wireless variety. Well, okay, I've gone for this Honeywell one because it's virtually a direct replacement for my one, which again is a Honeywell one. And as well as that, it's only got 2 wires in this, so it's fairly easy to connect up. Now, as usual, as I always say, when you're touching electrics, make sure everything is turned off. We don't want no power to the unit. And if you're unsure about wiring this at all, please do get an electrician in, because some systems are wired differently and will probably be wired differently to what I've got here. So if you're not sure, please do not try to do this job, but get an electrician in. You will still save a lot of money in the long term with one of these, I assure you. So without delay now, we'll start taking the old one off and I'll show you how it comes away. Right, well, here's mine. You'll find there's a screw, usually on the top, set in a little recess. So you need a nice little screwdriver like this. Get it in there, a few turns, get the screw out, and go on with it till it comes out. When it's loose enough, it should all pop off like that. Right, here we are then, the front cover off on this particular one. I've pulled this earth wire up. It's not connected to anything, it's just been covered with a bit of green tape. As you can see, this one's only had 2 wires connected anyway, which is probably why it's been very inefficient. This particular one's taken, must have been a 5 plus 5 plus minus 5 degree change to click. It's always been needed to go click like that or click that way to make it come on or off, because it never quite seemed to get there. And I can see why, because the neutral has not been added to this system. So if you haven't got a neutral on your old thermostat, then it will be really inefficient, because it's not going through a little resistor circuit that makes it a little bit more accurate than it should be. So this is one reason why this particular one has been very inaccurate indeed. And you can see there's a constant live coming in and switched out, and that's all we've got on here. This is the way I've took the back off this now, and you can see this is the way it should be wired, and it has a neutral that comes through a little resistor, and that makes it a lot more accurate. But you won't find you'll need a neutral on this now. You should just have a switch live, which is all we're going to need. So we can disband with the neutral now, and any earth wire that may be there as well. Okay, so once you've undone your 2 wires there, pulled them out, there's be 2 screws, one in here and one over this side. And they're holding it on. You may even have one down here. It depends how thorough your electrician's been when he fitted this up. But usually there's just the 2. So we'll get those off now. Okay, last screw out. And then we can just pull it away, pull it through, and there we have it. Okay, well, the front off. I've actually had to drill another hole through mine because it was coming through here, but normally it would be coming through in that position. It's just that I had this ordered some time back and the wire couldn't be stretched over, but that's another thing. Normally it would be coming through here, which means we can get our housing and we should be able to slide it straight through. So here's our back housing there, and literally through there. I've already cut the earth wire off because you don't need that one. And it should line up with the screws. If you're replacing a direct replacement Honeywell one, it should line up, which you can see it does there. So we'll now screw the back plate on. Okay, so we'll just put our two wires in, which I've done. Push them into two connectors here, that's A and B. Get them both in like so and screw them up nice and tight, which I've done now, so that's all ready. And we'll just go through the wiring if you've got different colours now. Obviously, if you've got red, yellow, blue and earth, then the blue and earth don't need to be connected at all. So just connect your red one, as I've done in there, and your yellow one in there, okay. Don't forget the green earth, just cut it off, it's not required at all, and that should be the correct way round for you. If you're not certain, there is a wiring diagram with it. There's a whole details of how to fit it with different boiler systems and what have you, so there is a complete wiring circuit with it. Okay, so we're ready for our front. Get it the correct way up and just sit it in these two little channels at the back here, one there and there. See those? Just sit it in properly, you'll feel it go in. Just clicks in, you can feel it's in there now, and just push it back to and click. Now she's in and on the wall. What we're going to do now is, there's a couple of batteries in there, and there's a bit of kind of paper insulating it from being connected. So what we're going to do now is just lift the front away and show you also not just taking that out, but how to gain access to the batteries as and when they die. We're going to gain access to the batteries now. Just pull that away there, look, and here's our batteries here. And there's probably a bit of insulating stripping between one of them to stop it from connecting up while it's being made. There it is. So make sure you take that out of it, okay? And then we'll put our batteries back in. So there we are. She's on now, and we're showing a temperature reading on there now, even though the power's not on. Okay, there we are. Pretty easy to operate. As you can see, up and down arrows. Increase it, decrease it. And it's fairly simple to operate there. There's no big deal. There's an eco button there, this green button, economy green, and if you push that you can increment it to stay on for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and it will be set at a predetermined temperature. It depends what you want to set it at, but it is all in the booklet for you if you want to do that. It's just an extra little feature. Basically though, that is the thing set. Whatever you want, set the temperature up. Do it half a degree above 18 every day and get it to 19, 19 and a half, 20, and see what's comfortable for you. That's the way you're supposed to do it, and then you can save as much money as you can. But please don't be uncomfortable. Whatever that temperature is that you require that is right for you, that's the one you should leave it on. Well, there we are. It's a day later now. We've had it on for our first days out, and I must say it's fantastic. It really does switch hell of a lot quicker than what I had. This particular model I had obviously didn't have the neutral wire, which meant it was very unsensitive. Needed about a 5-degree change to work, which is terrible, really bad. So this, to work within a half a degree or a degree at the most, temperature change, and it switches. It's got to save money, it's got to be more economical, and I think it's great, and it's cheap to do, and I think most of you out there will be able to manage to change that wiring, but as I say, if you're not sure, get an electrician. So to summarise, this was the Honeywell DT90E, and it directly replaced the old Honeywell stat that was on the wall, so it's really easy if you have got an existing Honeywell stat. Alright, it makes life a dead easy swap. Okay, that's it, highly recommend it. That's it from me. For all my videos, you know where to go, Derriton33. Thanks for watching, bye bye.